Hey guys, what's going on? It's the Chinist. Today is January 10th, Wednesday, New Comic Book Day. I have my haul here of 16 with 15 different titles. So starting off on the DC run, we have Supergirl. So I am not reading this as an ongoing series. I picked this one up just for the cover. Man, I thought this cover was awesome, and I think this is another art germ. I thought that he was done at issue number 16 as far as the B covers went, but here it is again. So yeah, love this cover, so I went ahead and picked it up. Okay, next up, and just FYI, I did read through this stack this week, so I have read through all these issues. This issue is actually from last week. I forgot to pick it up when I originally went, and when I went back at the end of the day, they had sold out. So this is yet another one-shot of the overall Metal series that's going on right now. And, you know, so this kind of lets you know where Hawkman has been. So they killed him off just like, what, like 3 or 4 months ago? It hasn't been too long. They had the Death of Hawkman come out. I did not really read through that one, so I see a bad character here. I guess this is a person who had, you know, I guess you thought that he died, but he didn't really die. So this kind of lets you know where he's been, and you know, so at the very end, you kind of, you know, is this a dream? Is it not a dream? You kind of, you know, kind of leaves you a little bit of a question. So yeah, straight up, this is at the lowest value level as far as the overall one-shots have been so far for the Metal tie-in, in my opinion. I would say pick them up all, but this has brought the least value overall. Okay, next up again from the DC run, we have The Flash. Man, love this title. So I think this one tied up the overall Iron Heights, Cold Day in Hell finale. So this one kind of, so there was a murder that kind of happened at Iron Heights. A rogue had been murdered, and this has been like a whole sleuthing of, you know, what happened. Pretty good stuff. It tied it up pretty well. I really did enjoy this issue. I'm not too much of a fan of the overall artwork in this issue, to tell you the truth. I don't know what it is, but just really wasn't a fan too much. But yeah, overall, great storyline. They tied it up well, and I would highly suggest for y'all to go pick this title up, man. Go pick up the trades. It's really good stuff they've done so far in The Flash for this new DC run here. Okay, next up from DC again, we have New Superman. So this is number 19. I think this may be the absolute last New Superman. I think they changed the title to New Superman and Chinese Justice League at number 20, I believe. If not number 20, 21. This was an okay issue. This one kind of focused on, I forgot what her character name is, but they kind of mashed this character up with, there's her name is Laney Land. So they kind of mashed her up with Lois Lane and Lana from, you know, from Clark Kent's life. Is what they did with her. So this kind of follows her. This is kind of like what the public views the Chinese Justice League. You know, are they doing more good than bad? Look at all the collateral damage that's happening on the side. So this is kind of like a perspective from the social media, you know, from the public eye, so to speak. It was an okay issue. So yeah, New Superman. Okay, Avengers number 675. This starts off the new title, the new story arc, No Surrender. So this is actually going to be a 16-part storyline, and they're going to be releasing this now every week. So I'll get to it at the end. I do not think I'm going to pick up the floppies on this one. I think I'll pick this one up in trade. So I did pick up the lenticular, it's a wraparound lenticular, and man, I thought that the 3D on this lenticular was, man, phenomenal. Like, Marvel came a long way from those other lenticulars they released about 4 months ago. Like, what a debacle that was. But yeah, man, great cover. So this storyline really kicks off. So something's happening to the Earth. This is like a massive all-out call-in for every Avenger that has ever been an Avenger for the past, you know, decades. And or since the entire lifespan of the Avengers. Whoever is left alive, I guess you could say it that way. So yeah, this is an all-out call. If you are an Avengers fan of any volume that was ever released, you should really pick this one up because it really ties everyone in. So this is going to be like a you know, huge global event that's happening. I felt that they really started this number one off, you know, right. It really feels like it's a big, massive event. You know, it's not rushed by any means. Again, this is going to be a 16-parter, but they really kicked off this number one excellent, man. I mean, they did a really good job. Again, I am not going to pick this one up week to week. I think I'm going to wait for the whole trade to come out and you know, read through the storyline there. But man, this seems to be a really good storyline. I would not pass this one up, guys. Okay, next up from Star Wars, we have Darth Vader. Man, great saga here that they kind of wrapped up the, what is her name? Let me check that out real quick. Her name is Jocasta Nu. So again, she was the librarian that was in the, I think they showed her in both episode number 2 and episode 3. She kind of kept the, she guarded all of the data that the Jedi Temple amassed, over the decades. Pretty cool stuff. So this is the final battle between Darth Vader and Acosta. Man, great stuff. This was an excellent battle. I won't show what happens at the end, but man, good stuff, man. I also like how they start firing on Darth Vader because the lieutenant did not tell his guys what Darth Vader looked like. And man, Darth Vader gets pissed off and just like totally just kills that one lieutenant. Man, hilarious stuff. But yeah, man, Darth Vader, if you are not picking this up and you are a Darth Vader fan, you need to go pick this up. Both that first volume that came out and this volume number 2, excellent source material, and it's all canon at this point in time. Okay, another new number 1, Old Man Hawkeye. So this actually is, I think, like 10 years before the Old Man Logan storyline that Lemire did. Right? Yep. So, so Old Man Logan is actually in this one. You find out that Hawkeye, over the years, he is actually going blind. Cataracts are coming into play now. There are still, medical facilities, but apparently the doctor can't do anything for him. He is going to go blind. So he is on one last revenge mission. I won't give away, what happened in his life here, but he's going after one last revenge mission, and he's asking Old Man Logan to assist him, in this one last mission. So, I was actually going to pass this one up. After reading this number 1, this storyline seems really good. I really love that Old Man Logan that came out, the volume 1 that came out. Man, this one, I felt that it was going to be a straight up imitation copy. This one, they're kicking this one off very, very well. I think this is going to be a good storyline. Old Man Hawkeye. Okay, next up from Marvel, annual X-Men Gold. So this one, if you are a fan of Excalibur, from the, the mid-90s when Excalibur first came out, I would suggest you go pick this one up. Overall, the storyline didn't really, wasn't really groundbreaking for me. It didn't really, intrigue me too much. But if you are a previous Excalibur fan, go pick this one up. It's a lot of, throwback, a lot of nostalgia there. So yeah, X-Men Gold annual number 1. Okay, on that X-Men run, X-Men Blue. So X-Men Blue, you have the Blue, Gold, Astonishing, and X-Men Red is going to be coming out here pretty soon. This deals more with the time-displaced original X-Men team. So pretty cool stuff. They actually went back in a previous, maybe about 10 issues ago, they went back to their previous timeline and they actually saw themselves. So, they only got a glimpse and they left. They came back to the, I guess, Earth 616. But they couldn't figure out why they saw, themselves. They didn't know if they altered time. They didn't know if they, split up some parallel universe or something. They could not really figure it out. So here is the culmination. You come to find out who this other original X-Men team is and what their plan is. So very, very diabolical. I won't give away who they are at the very end, but man, great stuff. They have built the storyline up pretty well. So yeah, X-Men Blue. All right, from Aftershock, we have Pestilence. Love the entire genre of the zombies. I am not tired of it whatsoever. Love Walking Dead and everything zombie related. Excellent storyline here. I love the artwork that went along with this story arc. So this one ties up this entire story arc for the first outing. I really assumed that this was just going to be a mini-series. You find out at the very end there's going to be a volume 2 coming out. But this entire storyline is all wrapped up. You find out what happens to the zombies and what they had to go through in order to get rid of them. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. And in addition, after the zombies, there's another little conflict that occurs that really ties up everything else that occurred during the story arc. Great stuff. If you love knights, if you love zombies, go pick this one up. Pestilence. Okay, from Boom Studios, Mech Cadet You. So as I've said in previous videos, you know, I really grew up with a lot of Japanese anime, grew up with a lot of giant robo, so I love kaiju now at this point in time because I grew up with a lot of giant robo type stuff, you know, a lot of Godzilla stuff in the past. Good stuff here. So you have the aftermath, you know, so these kids went out and against the military orders, they were ordered to return home. They decided to stay in the battlefield and fight some of the alien invaders that came in. This is the aftermath. You see what their punishment is for having fought the alien, you know, having disobeyed orders. They actually get demoted to a janitor crew. Of course, the main character, his mom, is a janitor, so she is actually taking care of the kids while they're in school now, as you know, part of their punishment. But cool stuff. You get to see like a little bit of teen unity come into play. You have the general's daughter, who is flying the man-made mech, and a little bit more background of her history there as well. So yeah, good stuff. Mech Cadet You. Okay, next up from Dynamite, we have Battlestar Galactica versus Battlestar Galactica. So this is like the early 80s Battlestar Galactica versus the, when did that come out? Like 2007, 2009, somewhere in there, for the remake of Battlestar Galactica. I was a fan of the first one. I kind of grew up with it. You know, of course, I love Star Wars, you know, far more than Battlestar Galactica, and loved Star Trek, you know, far more as well. But I was aware of it, you know, I kind of knew what the storyline was. When they had the remake come out in 2009, or, you know, recently, that storyline, man, they did an excellent job with the acting, storyline, special effects. Man, that show blew me away. I didn't watch that show until it was completed, you know, and done, and then I went back and watched it all after everyone else had already watched it. Man, I fell in love with it. So this comic kind of brings them, you know, together. Of course, another mashup. I was not too much of a fan of this #1 that came out. You know, I don't think the pacing was really correct. It didn't, you know, not too much, didn't really set up the storyline in my opinion, or not well enough to want to pick up, get those readers to read more. So if you're a fan of Battlestar Galactica, pick it up, make your own decision, but I will not be picking up #2 on. Maybe I'll check it out in trade if the storyline comes out okay at the end. Okay, next up from Image, we have Port of Earth. So this is #3. Pretty cool concept here. So you have, in the future, aliens start coming to Earth, and our government negotiates to where Earth is a trade route. In order to get you know, something beneficial on our side, aliens share their alien technology. The #1 item being their ability to break water down as fuel. So Earth being, you know, 75% water, they have, you know, almost an unlimited source of fuel. But as you see here, by the government doing that, they have completely ruined their economy, so to speak. So you have all the fossil fuels that are just, you know, completely catered down now. You have millions of people out of work who have worked in the previous fossil fuel industry. So pretty cool high level. That's what's going on the Earth side of things at a higher level and the more political level. Then you delve down into the task squad who's dealing with the aliens, and of course they had a recent alien murder. An alien got into a zone that he should not have been in. A small altercation, alien died. This is the aftermath of that. This has been a pretty cool concept. I think they're doing a really good job on keeping the pacing correct, some character development that's occurring here in the first 3 issues alone. Good stuff. I did not think that this storyline would be as good as what it is, to tell you the truth. Okay, next up we have Atlas and Axis, and this is from Static Press. I actually picked up cover A, and this is cover B over here. I actually prefer cover B, to tell you the truth. So, my understanding, this is a French comic, originally released in France in French, and has now been translated to English. Pretty cool stuff. So even though this artwork is kind of like a, you know, Steamboat Willie, Disney Mickey Mouse type of artwork, it's more of a very realistic adult storyline. You know, people die in here. They're dealing with their entire village being slaughtered. This is kind of like a Viking type of timeline that they're doing here. So I'm not sure how long this comic has been out in France. I don't know if it was like a 70s type deal or if it came out like early 90s. I'm not sure how old this is. This is pretty good though, man. It's like a very, very good, adventure that they're setting up here. I think I'm actually going to pick up a number 2 to see where that storyline goes. The only reason that I picked up these cover A and cover B is because I saw it was sold out online. So I picked up more as a spec pickup, but the storyline was actually pretty decent. So yeah, Atlas and Axis. Okay, last up for you, we have one from Valiant Bloodshot Salvation. So I've never been a Bloodshot fan. I just delved into Bloodshot here on this one title. Man, great stuff. I knew, kind of who Bloodshot was and how the nanites kind of worked to, keep his healing factor there, so to speak. But never really knew anything about the character. Man, great action, great dialogue, man, some gore that kind of goes along in here as well. Good stuff. Man, I'm surprised that I never really picked up Bloodshot in the past. I kind of regret that. I'm going back and picking up some older Bloodshot titles right now, but man, good stuff. So guys, that is going to be it for this week's brand new haul. Did you enjoy what you see here? Please like and subscribe. Talk to you later.